Hello guys, have you been guessing where you can get the best movie recap? Well, it's here on Riveted. A girl discovers a dark truth about her only best friend. Hello, and welcome everyone. Today we will be reviewing one of the most cult classic horror comedies in the history of cinema to spice up your daily routines. Because it has everything from love, betrayal, and sacrifices all weaved into the cinematic universes of Jennifer's Body, to enjoy this unforgettable film in all its glory and modesty. But before we continue further, please like and subscribe to our channel so that you can stay updated with our latest content. Jennifer's Body. The film begins with an inmate named Needy, imprisoned in a mental correctional facility while questioning the emptiness inside of her despite being forced into a routine and normalcy. But nothing was certain, at least in her mind. That's why she kicks the doctor who was only advising her to eat more food. Needy was immediately thrown into solitary confinement due to her violent episode, while she starts contemplating the circumstances that pushed her to insanity and conspired her life to the prison. But Needy was not at all insane when she belonged to the society and her hometown Devil's Kettle, which was famous for its waterfall, as it was miraculously so deep that no one was able to measure its depth, despite being repeatedly studied by the scientist. But nothing ever surfaces except Needy, who sneakily finds herself standing outside a house watching over a sick girl Jennifer laying inside her bed. But Jennifer was not used to be sick, as she was beautiful and most fancied woman in the whole college. Whereas Needy was a nerd and a bit of an outcast. That's why no one was able to fathom the friendship between a dork and a babe. But they were practically sisters due to their unbreakable bond. But Needy oftentimes had to convince others that Jennifer is her best friend, who mostly labeled their friendship as a lesbian couple. Needy was at her lockers when Jennifer invited her to a party taking place at Melody Lane to check out some heartthrobs. But Needy already had plans with her boyfriend Chip later in the evening, but it's hard to turn down Jennifer. That's why she reluctantly accepts the invitation for the party. Later at night, Needy tries her best to choose the most sexiest and badass clothes to wear for the party, but her attire should never dominate Jennifer's, which would upset the balance between her friendship. But Chip was not able to control his disapproval as he starts to question Needy about her choice of clothes, almost exposing her belly. But she assured Chip that it would please Jennifer as they both liked the same thing. But that was not true according to Chip, who again reminded what everyone thinks that Needy is living in a shadow of Jennifer, as they don't have anything in common. But Needy immediately snubbed his doubts by showing him her lifelong BFF necklace she was wearing, which meant a sacred bond that can never be broken despite what anyone says. But they were soon interrupted by Jennifer, who had arrived to take Needy with her and displeased with the presence of Chip in her house. Jennifer inquired sarcastically if they had taken things further in the bed, but Needy immediately stopped her and pushed her a little. They start pushing each other lightly, but Jennifer used all her strength to push Needy to the door, which made her uncomfortable and insulted in front of her boyfriend. While Chip intervenes and questions Jennifer's choice for a party at Melody Lane Bar, which according to her was a club, but she turned down Chip's argument by labeling him as jealous. As soon as they arrived at the destination, Needy realized that Chip was right, as the Melody Lane was not a club, but her attention was occupied by the flatterers and sycophants almost throwing themselves over Jennifer for a date. But Jennifer was captivated by the fancy band who were setting their instruments for the performance. She started convincing Needy to accompany with her for the introduction, but Needy was reluctant till she was assured by Jennifer to not be scared, as they are the ones who have all the power. But Jennifer was fascinated by the lead singer Nikolai, who introduced his band to both the girls, while Needy felt insulted by the derogatory remark on her town. Whereas Jennifer didn't mind and offered to buy drinks, and as she left for the bar, the lead singer Nikolai starts evaluating the possibility of Jennifer being a virgin or not with his bass player, but they were immediately interrupted by Needy, who listened to their conversation while standing at the corner. She snubbed at Nikolai and confirms his suspicion that Jennifer is although a virgin, but it surely beats being a creep like him. Needy immediately stopped Jennifer approaching with drinks, while Jennifer assured her that Nikolai likes her. But Needy tries to explain the reason of his liking as he considers Jennifer to be a virgin. But Jennifer confessed that she is not a virgin anymore, which made Needy overjoyed, but their attention was interrupted by the band who started their performance. Everyone gathered around for the performance while Needy observes that Jennifer was mesmerized either by the vocals or the vocalist. But soon her attention was caught by fire as it sparked along the curtains and reached the roof instantly while everyone started running to save their lives, whereas Jennifer was still standing in amazement, but Needy grabs her by the shoulder and takes her to the washroom to escape from the window. Both of them successfully got out while Jennifer was still in shock, while Needy tries to comfort her, but Nikolai intervened and offered a ride in his van. Needy immediately rejects the offer, but Jennifer accepts due to her fascination with him despite being repeatedly cautioned by Needy. Nikolai closed the gate of the van, whereas Needy was not able to do anything significant that could have diverted this fate, except the bar burning behind her. But Needy was convicted that Jennifer might be in danger. That's why she started calling her own boyfriend Chip, who woke up by her call and was not able to believe the sudden news about the burning of the club, while questions Jennifer's predicament, which she invited on herself. But Needy was interrupted by the sound of her doorbell. It concerned Chip as he stayed on the call when Needy walked downstairs to check. Needy was not able to find anyone as she checks the door, but there was no one except Chip on the phone, who was assured by Needy that everything is fine and hangs up. Except it was not, as she hears footsteps and starts following the source of the sound, only to find herself in the kitchen where the tap was running. She closes the tap and turns back to find Jennifer with blood all over her while smiling at Needy, who was shocked and concerned by her state. But Jennifer was hungry as she opened the refrigerator and starts eating the food till she was interrupted by Needy, but was immediately taken aback by Jennifer's demonic scream. Jennifer starts spilling blood from her mouth while Needy was not able to understand her condition as she comforts her, but soon realized that the situation is getting out of her hands, so she ran away to pick her phone, but Jennifer pushed her to the wall and pressed her body against Needy's, while attempting to bite her neck, but couldn't and leaves abruptly, while Needy remains flummoxed by Jennifer's visit. The next day in the classroom, Needy was lost in her thoughts about her childhood memories with Jennifer and what she might have lost as a friend, but came back to reality with a complete shock as Jennifer was entirely normal instead of being all demonic the previous night. She questions about her odd behavior, but Jennifer snubbed her mental state as she might be the one hallucinating, while Needy exactly remembers scrubbing the blood from her floor all night. Their conversation was interrupted by the professor, who began to console everyone in the class over the loss of their classmates, except Jennifer, who was actually overjoyed by the incident instead of mourning like the others. This behavior really unsettled Needy as she starts telling Chip about Jennifer's visit to her house, while being covered in blood and barfing up some disgusting stuff on her floor. But Chip was not able to understand as he questions Needy's mental health due to the trauma she has experienced the last night along with Jennifer. Whereas Jennifer approaches her classmate Joshua, who is a football player standing alone in the field grieving over the loss of his best friend Craig. Jennifer sympathizes with him and assured that his dead friend would like to see them as a banging couple, as it was his long-lasting wish. The football player immediately overjoyed by the prospects of having Jennifer as his girlfriend, while she manages to take him into the woods to make his dreams come true. She starts kissing Joshua while rips apart his shirt and starts giving him the ultimate pleasure he never dreamed of, while the professor hears a scream from the woods and started following the source of the sound, till he finds Joshua murdered as his stomach was ripped open, while Jennifer fled into the river bathing her cruelty into innocence. Needy was already depressed with losing her best friend Jennifer into darkness when she heard the news about the murder of the football player from Chip, which made her realize that it's not a coincidence, while Chip assured her that it cannot get any worse. Whereas the whole town was now grieving with murder coupled with the massacre at the club, which affected everyone except Jennifer, who only seemed sick due to unknown reasons. Both Needy and Jennifer were walking in the school hallway when Jennifer was approached by another classmate, Colin, to watch a movie together. While Jennifer immediately ignores the request as she was used to these kinds of pitches before, but then Needy advises her subtly to consider the request, which made Jennifer agree to invite Colin at her place, whereas Needy was invited by Chip to his place to take the next leap in their relationship. Needy was uncomfortable at first, but she went with the flow as she starts kissing Chip, whereas Colin was overjoyed when he reaches the abandoned house to meet Jennifer. As he finds his way in the house, Needy was helping Chip find the condoms, But Colin ends up in a desolate room lit with candles, which made him nervous as Jennifer starts kissing him while Chip was penetrating Needy carefully. But the things were moving fast between Jennifer and Colin as she completely turned him on till he realized the sudden change in her eyes and got scared. But Jennifer twisted his wrist and pushed him on the ground, while Needy was clouded with suspicion and starts recognizing the true nature of Jennifer as she starts devouring Colin, which made Needy reaches the heights of excitement and screams in shock. Needy immediately reaches her home while tries to sleep, but was startled when she finds Jennifer in her bed, who tries to calm down Needy while kissed her slowly. But Needy fell into the flow and starts kissing Jennifer till she realizes about what she was doing and threatened to inform the police about Jennifer. But Jennifer was not here to create a ruckus, as she assured that she only wanted to reveal the secret she has been carrying since the night at Melody Lane. That night, the band members took Jennifer to the waterfall and roped her against the rock to perform their sacrifice to please the devil so that they can be rewarded with fame and money, as it was hard becoming popular these days despite having talent. While Jennifer cries and begs them not to do this, but they ignore her pleas and struck her with a knife repeatedly till she lost her life, but miraculously woke up and finds herself back to Needy's house. This near-to-death experience changed something in her, as she felt really hungry all the time, and her appetite could only be satisfied with humans, which is why she cannot be killed, which made Needy realize that she must have killed someone before reaching her place that night. But Jennifer snubbed back at her reasoning while asking her to stay the night and tries to appeal with her about the childhood games between them, but Needy asked her to leave. Needy was not able to digest the truth as she starts researching about the possible remedy and the unexplained transformation of Jennifer by studying the demonic sacrifices and its nuances that have to be carried out in its entirety. She learns that demons are weakest when they are hungry and therefore could be dealt during that period. But she never spoken to Jennifer since her last encounter in her bedroom, till Chip confronted her about the upcoming school's dance. Needy turned down Chip and advises him not to go to either, as his life would be in danger, which made him question if something is wrong with their relationship. But Needy reveals that she fears Jennifer would harm him because she is evil, and also learned that the band sacrificed her, but their sacrificial was not pure, as Jennifer was already not a virgin since junior high. That's why she has been transformed into a bloodthirsty yet beautiful demon. But Chip was not able to reconcile with her findings, as he left her questioning about her mental state. She was losing her mind because of carrying the burden of truth, till she finds some comfort while dressing up for the dance, whereas Chip was also being ready despite her repeated caution. While Jennifer was trying to hide the sickness that was apparent on her face, but could soon be healed with her next prey. Needy reaches the party sadly with Chip and searches for Jennifer to restrain her from killing someone else, but Jennifer didn't arrive at the party except she was following Chip in the park and approached him with a sense of guilt and shame that she has been feeling due to the abrupt behavior of Needy these days, and admits that she has feelings for him while start kissing him till he realized that they should continue someplace else, while Needy realized Jennifer's next prey, who was none other than Chip. Jennifer took Chip to an abandoned swimming pool, while Needy starts searching for them everywhere but fails to find them. But Jennifer tries to take things further but was turned down by Chip, as it didn't feel right to him, which made her anxious, as it was the first time in her whole life and afterlife that she was being refused by someone. She threw Chip in the pool and starts drowning him, while Needy was able to hear Chip scream outside the abandoned place and run towards to save him, till she finds him in the pool with Jennifer, who was about to kill him. Needy manages to separate the two while sprayed pepper in her eyes, but it didn't work as Jennifer started hovering in the air while Needy and Chip gets out of the pool. She confronts Jennifer about her prey's choice for Chip, but she remains silent as she doesn't have an answer, while Needy bombarded her conscience as why she couldn't have chosen someone else. She realized that Jennifer was the one who was insecure and jealous in their friendship, which made Jennifer really anxious as she starts running towards Needy, but was surprisingly stopped by Chip, who struck a pole in her stomach, while also died himself due to the wounds he succumbed. Needy was clouded with revenge as she starts contemplating about the death of Chip in her bed, while deciding to end this nightmare once and for all. She reaches Jennifer's house and attacked her while she was about to sleep. They brawled in the bed and tries to choke Jennifer till Needy realizes that she was not as powerful as Jennifer, who pushed her in the air while she snatches the BFF necklace from her neck and struck the knife into Jennifer's heart. It slowly killed her while her mother barges in the room, but Needy was numb as she has successfully managed to kill the demon and within her only best friend. That's why she was damaged and imprisoned in the mental correctional facility, as no one was able to witness the things she has witnessed and therefore labeled as a crazy, which was not so different than being socially inept and shadowed in the disturbing and toxic friendship with Jennifer. But she was now gifted, as she has become fearless from the tragedies she has faced till now, and that's why she decides to test her newfound strength when she kicked the window of the solitary confinement and ran from the prison till she was given a lift by an old man who inquired about her destination, which made her realize that her revenge was not completely fulfilled, as the band is still living and breathing while enjoying the fame and popularity they cultivated with the tragedy of her town and best friend. That's why this film was not only about the friendship between two teenagers of college, as it carries the audience through the journey of what is real or not, while questions the space that is occupied mostly with men and their instruments of power and desire, which often go unnoticed when exercised on the oppressed and weak, whereas breaking the stereotypes about strength which is not associated with a particular gender or race. So, if you at any point of your life witness these stereotypes, then don't forget to mention in the comments below. See you with our next video.